Hello everybody and welcome back to Typical City. 68,000 people turned up in the Japan National Stadium to watch City play Yokohama. Now that was an all-time record in Japan top flight football. In all of the J-League's history, no one has beaten that attendance, and it was just a friendly. And guess who turned up? Little old City. So no one cares about City. No one gives a shit about City. Who cares about little old City? No one cares. Apart from 68,000 Japanese people, they seem to care very much so. In fact, we got more than double what Celtic did when they played Yokohama the week before. So I remember the comment, and to be honest, the man was almost an inspiration for me to start this YouTube channel. And I very rarely, and will very rarely ever, badmouth other YouTubers because I respect everyone's opinions and content. But if there ever was a single individual that talks absolute nonsense and drivel, it isn't the person you think I'm going to say. It's not Mark Goldbridge. He does talk a bit of drivel, in fairness. He does, of course. But Stephen Howson, I remember what he used to say about City. Might as well be Celtic. That's what he said. Little City might as well be Celtic. And yeah, Celtic with half the attendance. As if we're a smaller club than Celtic now. They are insignificant compared to us and our growth as a club. We are giants. We are juggernauts taking over the world. In every continent on the globe, we are dominating football to levels that have been never achieved in football. And if ever there was an epitome of a stereotypical United fan, it's Stephen Howson. And the Pep Guardiola comments he came out with talking about, there's no chance that we'll get Pep. When United were linked with Pep, all those things he said about Pep Guardiola, what a genius he is. There's only one man for the job, it's Pep Guardiola. And then he signs for City. It's no guarantee of success. No guarantee of success. If anything, I think he's become a success by saying such outlandish and stupid comments that you say so many of these things that you can become an internet success, an internet sensation for sheer stupidity. That's what you became, basically. And if anything, I would rather have 3,000 subscribers, and I love every single one of you, and all of you commenting, by the way, love it, absolutely appreciate it to the hills, very much so. But I would rather stay as a 3,000 subscriber channel and maintain my integrity than become a 100,000 subscriber and be known as a fucking moron. Put it that way. I would rather stay like this, guys. So stick with me. Maybe I'll become that one day in terms of the size, not the moron. I like to think some of you would probably already think I'm a moron. Maybe so. Good luck. That's fair enough. But let's start with that. Come on. Preview now. Enough bad mouthing people. Right. Kyle Walker, that's where we start, really. That's the only one place to start with the whole Bayern Munich versus Manchester City preview. Kyle Walker. Is he going to be a City player come the end of this pre-season? Is he going to be a City player at the start of the season? Pep Guardiola's pissed all over my idea that he was given the captain's armband. And numerous of you guys in the comments of previous videos said that it may be just a gesture, a goodwill gesture, a goodbye gesture. And it's starting to sound more like that. I got carried away with the idea that he was given a captain's armband. I was like, that is a huge statement from Pep Guardiola. Surely now he's staying. He's going to be a City player. Why would he be given the captain's armband? I calmed down a bit, let the dust settle, look at the situation. It's like, well, who else was he going to give the captain's armband to on that pitch at that moment for that first half? Only really Stones was up there in terms of authority figure that could be a genuine leader. So it was going to be Kyle Walker who was given it anyway, I would have suggested. And then the fact that he played him, and I was like, well, there's an indication that he's staying. But then he goes and plays Cancelo, which goes against the grain of what he must be thinking, or my assumption of what Pep Guardiola must be thinking. So, and then the interview, the pre-match interview with Pep Guardiola saying, they're going to fight. The key words is we're going to fight to keep Walker, which means what it says. He says what he means there. I think they are going to keep there. I don't think a decision's yet been made. It sounds like it's up to Walker by the sounds of it. It sounds like it's up to him. And Florian Plettenberg said Walker won't feature. That's been a couple of days old now, that news. So hopefully he does feature. Do we want to panic him not starting in the starting 11 because the first 45 minutes could well be a very different team than in the second half. If he features at all, is a good sign that he's staying. I think that's hopeful. It brings hope to City fans. If he doesn't play a single minute, I fear that spells the end of Kyle Walker's incredible City career. Let's not forget, incredible City career. What he's done, there aren't many players out there that can do that. I know people link the idea of keeping Walker and the value that he brings is purely to stop Vinicius Jr. and Kylian Mbappe. No, there are other players that pose threats with speed, and he nullifies that with near perfection every time. So he's very, very difficult to replace. We saw a glimpse of him in Yokohama coming down the touchline. He was screaming at Cole Palmer to give it him, and he didn't. Next time, tries it again, overlap, crosses to Alvarez, lays it off the stones, goal. All thanks to Walker's run. Palmer obviously played his role in that, but the speed, you just see him just like Roadrunner, just like everyone else seems to be in slow motion. He's just like that. So it's a scary prospect to lose Kyle Walker just for those counter-attacking situations. The amount of times he's just killed a counter-attack, it's scary. Now, £13 million, you can piss off with that. Absolute joke of a fee, regardless of 33 years old. Doesn't matter how old he is. It's what he brings to the team. Age doesn't play a part with Kyle Walker. We've seen how quick he still is. Even if he was running that quick at 43, I wouldn't bring his age into it because he's still running that quick. I doubt he is going to be running that quick at 43, but you never know. The guy's an athlete. Sheer athleticism of the highest caliber. So it's not easy to find. That doesn't grow on trees, unfortunately. It's very, very rare. And we're talking about probably alongside Ivanovic, I've always said Ivanovic is my favourite right back in the Premier League. I think he's on that level. Those two are the two out-and-out GOAT right backs of the Premier League. But 13 million, we've got to talk about how cost-effective is it to just keep him at that price. It's more cost-effective to just keep him and let him go on a free, because what he could do for us with the upcoming season, cost-effective springs to mind when it's talking about £13 million. It's not an acceptable fee. You've got to be upwards of 20, at least upwards of 20, 25 for me. 13 million is just nowhere near what he brings, the value that he brings, and how much he will improve Bayern as well, with Alphonso Davies, Kyle Walker, and potentially Harry Kane feeding off those two guys. That makes them Champions League favourites ahead of us. I think we're on par with them right now. We're about to play the best team in Europe, bar us. I think we were, I wouldn't say lucky, but they put us to the sword from possession-wise and overall play. In that second leg in the Allianz Arena, we were up against it and we defended valiantly. Amazing defensive performance. And thanks to Haaland, who missed a penalty, of course, earlier in the game, made it 1-0, and that killed the game. It killed the momentum. I wouldn't say we were hanging on, but they were the better side in that second leg. Massively so. Massively so. And they were the only team I've seen that do that to us last season and genuinely dominate for such a large stint of the game. And we could well see that tomorrow night against morning rather. City Extra, for anyone who's wondering, it's on City Extra Plus, so you will have to subscribe. Recast, same again. If you're abroad, get yourself a VPN overnight, log into a UK server. I can't walk you through it any more than that, but yeah, City Extra Plus, not City Extra, City Plus, City Extra lads, thumbs up to those guys as well. De Bruyne, is he back? That sounds very promising. Some of the comments coming from Pep were suggesting that he's closer to fitness than first feared when we thought he might be Arsenal, Burnley out for those games. Now it's like he could be featuring, maybe even tomorrow, get a couple of minutes, maybe even Atletico Madrid next weekend. Could we see De Bruyne back? Getting him back for the Arsenal game is nightmare material for Arsenal, because De Bruyne, he haunts them. He haunts Arsenal Football Club, doesn't he? So getting him back for that Community Shield, that would be very nice. But starting 11, preview, bang. Let's start with the Bayern starting 11. So I've gone for, what I want to see is the best starting 11s. I've gone for more hopeful entertainment value. I've not approached this pragmatically at all. I've not factored in pre-season at all. I've gone for a blockbuster showcase of a football spectacle. That's what I've gone for, the best possible starting 11s. So I'm not sure this is my hopeful prediction rather than logical prediction, if you know what I mean. So Neuer's injured, so Sommer in that, and we saw him pull off some unbelievable saves. He was a bit dodgy at the same time. I've never seen Sommer, especially at the Etihad. He had such a bad game and such a good game at the same time. Some of the saves he was making, that Gundogan one with his feet where he just poked his leg up in the air, brilliant saves, and then he was flapping at others. So a mixed goalkeeper, someone we could put under pressure tomorrow. But yeah, I've gone for Sommer, Mazraoui, right back, Pavard, Upamecano. Hopefully he can be another nightmare performance against Erling Haaland, because he single-handedly put us through into that round. Let's be honest. Upamecano handed us the next round of the Champions League. He gifted it us. And yeah, woeful performance from him. So hopefully he plays. Alphonso Davies, I think he's an absolute worldie of a player. I love Alphonso Davies, watching him play, and I'd love City to go for him. I just don't think he's going to fit into our system. It doesn't make sense. He is an out-and-out left-sided player. He could play defensive midfielder maybe, but John Stones, Rodri, Calvin Phillips, Kovacic can play in there. Kimmich is also playing in defensive midfield, so someone else we've been linked with. We wouldn't be going for him. I mean, if we didn't have John Stones doing what he did last season, if John Stones didn't step up to the plate as well as he did, maybe we would be going in for someone like Joshua Kimmich. But John Stones, I mean, Kimmich is probably one of the few players that I would swap for John Stones in that particular position. But I mean, John Stones is like, he's looking an absolute Rolls Royce of a player in defensive midfield. So yeah, Kimmich, Goretzka, Lema. Now I'm not sure, because it's up front where they're struggling. They haven't got an out-and-out number 9. They tend to play the false 9, don't they? So Musiala's been drifting in there. We're seeing Gnabry going in there as well. But I've gone for Lema and Musiala playing the false 9, with Sane and Gnabry going out wide. Sane's someone that people always seem to want to go for, City fans. And again, I don't think Pep plays like that anymore. We don't have out-and-out speedsters going down the wing anymore. We tend not to play like that. They are more slow and tend to be two-footed as well. We need to have players that have a little bit more versatility about them, that can play almost as an attacking midfielder and drift in that semi-arc, you know, inside a little bit and then outside a little bit. And Sane would rarely come inside to attacking midfield. He would pin himself to the left flank and just be up and down it all day and whipping in delicious cross after delicious cross. And yeah, I miss it, don't get me wrong, a sublime player, but not really suited to the way we're playing right now. Maybe one day we could go back for him, but I don't know. Second stints at clubs are never as good as the first stint as well. You have to factor that in. And I always remember Sean Wright-Phillips coming back. Wasn't quite as good, was it? It was good. Not as good as his first spell in a City shirt. But yeah, City team. Ederson in goal. I've gone full strength. This, for me, is the best team that we can field at all, I think. I think this is our best team right now. Considering Gundogan's gone, it's basically the only thing there missing from last season is Gundogan, and Kovacic is in his place, and it's the same boxed midfield with Stones, Rodri, Foden, Kovacic in that box midfield that we ended the season with. Ake, Diaz and Akanji, solid, 3 solid defenders that they can all play, but then they're more on the defensive side than they are on the ball-playing side of defenders. Foden in the middle and Bernardo Silva out wide, those two could swap. I think I've gone for Foden in the middle because my preference would be to see him integrated more into the middle of the park and play more centrally. I think Pep, got the idea last season to do that. He brought him on for De Bruyne in the Champions League final and that little mazy run that he did. And if only he'd scored that, what a goal. Champions League naming headlights with that sort of goal. He just didn't finish it. Composure is one thing Foden needs to improve on. Just that little calm down a little bit. He's such a frantic player and it suits his game outside the box. Put him in the box. You want him to take a little bit more, calm down, breathe, relax a little bit and make sure you either pass it to Haaland more often than not. We're screaming at him to just lay it square to Haaland. How many times did we say that last season? But do you want to amend Foden's game that much that you by asking him to calm down, could you be taking away the other strengths to his game by doing that? Some players need to play frantically. You look at the likes of Riyad Mahrez, who's definitely on his way out of the door by the sounds of it, not even in the squad. You look at Riyad Mahrez, for example, he is only calm. He knows nothing but calmness. He can't play frantically, Riyad Mahrez. So very polarising players, those two. But both equally damaging at getting goals and assists. So there are multiple ways to play this game, of course. Grealish out left, the big man up top. That's who I'd go for. These two facing off against each other. What a mouth-watering pre-season game that would be. And the Japanese folk will be spoilt rotten with these teams, and Bernardo Silva out wide. But they're my predicted 11. In terms of a scoreline, does it matter? Does it matter? I'll just keep it down to 20. As long as Bayern don't score 27 goals again, I think I'll be reasonably happy. 27-0 they won against Rotark Egern, I believe they're called. 9th tier Division 9 team. Like, wow. What was the point? I believe it was for charity, more than actual fitness tests and things like that. It was more for the charitable side of the game. Still, what was the point? Well, what was the point? No one learned anything from that game. So keep it to 20, boys, and I'll be reasonably happy. But yeah, prediction-wise, I'm going to go for 5-4 to City. Haaland with 4. Bernardo Silva getting the first goal. That's my wild prediction. There's zero backing behind that. There's no logic to these predictions whatsoever. Nothing at all. But it's just hope and pre-season. But I'm more interested in the minutes. That's what we're interested in. Minutes, fitness, overall play. Just sweeping them cobwebs off and losing that rust, getting that shine back and polishing your performance as best as you can. That's what this pre-season's all about. So I'm really looking forward to the game, though. I am doing a watch-along for those who are interested. Tomorrow morning, I will be streaming the game live. Not the game live, but me watching the game live. So join me for that. It will be enjoyable. I really enjoyed doing the Yokohama watch-along as well. Some of you are surprised at the turnout. Lots of you turned out for that, so that was really good to see you guys. I hope some of the same faces will be in that stream as well. But let me know your thoughts, Blues. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What are your predictions for Bayern Munich versus Manchester City? Get in the comments below, like and subscribe. Typical City is the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.
This is Typical City now.